Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jarvi vlog. Normally we come to you on Thursday mornings, but today we're going to come to you on a Friday morning. We had a little excursion out of the office yesterday, so we're a day late, but that's okay. We're still going to bring you some of the same awesome talking about labor statistics and things affecting the staffing world, which is super awesome. I'm Zach.
I'm Allie.
I'm Bill.
And today we are talking about GDPR. It's kind of a European thing, so many of you probably haven't heard about it. But it could affect some of the clients we work with. It could affect some of you out there. And essentially, if you have any kind of business dealings in Europe, GDPR is going to apply to you. So a little history on it. You may have heard about the Facebook thing that happened a few months ago. I'm sure you saw Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress and everything like that.
Never heard of it.
Right?
Never
Yeah.
saw anything.
Who's Zucker? Who?
Yeah, right.
What?
Zucker, what? But he was actually in Europe at the same time, talking with the European Union. The European Union established a law about data privacy and data rights. So now, if you have any kind of customer that works in or lives in Europe, and you collect any of their data, phone number, name, email address, credit card information, things like that, you have to comply with GDPR laws. So, Allie, what are some of the aspects of GDPR besides, data collection that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, so something you just need to be aware of is that it pertains to any information, like Zach said, that has to do with personal identity, so name, phone number, email, anything like that, and you have to have explicit permission to use it. And that permission has to be, to revoke that, use of that information has to be as easily spelled out as it is to get that information. So if someone doesn't want their information being used anymore, they need to be able to quickly and easily share that they don't want that information being used anymore. Mm-hmm. And so another thing that's it affects is there are penalties if you don't follow.
Always got to be a penalty, right?
Yes. If you do not follow the GDPR guidelines. So right now the penalties are 4% of your global turnover or 20 million euros, whatever is greater. And I don't know about you guys, but 4% of my global turnover or 20 million euros.
I might be short.
I don't think I have that.
I'm not sure how much a euro is, so
I think it's like $3. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the exchange rate is these days.
It's still 20 million. It's gotta be more than what I have in my piggy bank. So
right, yeah.
20 million of anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Allie, previously companies would have like the terms of use sheet or the I agree checkbox at the end of any kind of form submission. Mm-hmm. How is that changing now for what you're talking about?
Yeah, so if you see that, there's going to be a disclaimer more than what you had seen before. So, we all know those things. Check if you have read the terms and service agreements like this, and no one ever reads them. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe we should. Maybe buried in there.
Probably start
like,
reading them.
Here's the code to win $1 million, or the code to the lottery numbers this summer. So maybe we should start reading those, but they're going to be, now you're just going to notice them being much more direct, and you'll be able to understand them in more layman's terms, if you will.
Yep. And I've seen it as simple as, if, like she said, a few check boxes at the bottom of a form, one or two check boxes just saying, I consent to this company using my data. If you do a quick search for GDPR compliance, you're going to find a lot of resources on this. But Bill, you work in the staffing world.
Yep.
Some of the people you recruit are international. What are some of the implications for you? Like in your daily basis as you go through work, where do you see this fitting in?
Well, I think it's important to understand that, we're constantly collecting data. Mm-hmm. And whether that's a resume or whether that's, applications, which we really, most people don't do applications anymore. They just had you go onto their applicant tracking system and fill out a bunch of stuff and attach a resume. But I deal with people's personal information, phone number, address, their job history. And the important thing is to be able to keep that information private and secure, right? And that's what any of us want, whether that's on our social media outlets or whether that's, you're trusting somebody you've never met before, you've only talked to twice with your resume, with all your relative pertinent information. Mm-hmm. It's having that trust that person's taking care of it. Mm-hmm. And as you email people that you've never met and you're inquiring about a job, it's important to understand that you need to be selective where you're sending your information to.
That's true.
And whether you work with Jarvi Group or another agency or somebody else that's going to help you, make sure that they're reputable. Make sure that you've talked to an actual person. you know, and that
Absolutely.
and that you have screened them, and you've interviewed them as much as they've interviewed you, hopefully you have a good trust built up with them.
It's true. So, like, if someone were to apply to a job on the Jarvi website,
Yep.
they're going to see your name on the website. They're going to see your information. They'll be able to cross-reference that with your LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
They'll be able to say, okay, Jarvi's a reputable group. I can see Bill, and I can actually pick up the phone and talk to Bill. Would you accept that call?
Oh, most definitely. You know, I love talking to people, and I think that is the best way to establish trust is to have that conversation, whether it's face to face or whether it's over the telephone. You know, email is one thing, and it's a nice form of communication, but I don't want to get to I don't want to become a society that all we do is email back and forth.
It's true.
You know, it's so one-dimensional. You can't tell what the inflection is. You can't tell someone's mannerisms, any of that. So having that conversation, whether it's in person or over the phone, it just makes it more personable. Helps build that trust a little bit more, and it's nicer.
Yep. Especially if you're international across a big ocean, like the Atlantic Ocean or something like that. So,
well, and you know, if it is something like that, request, you know, hey, can we set up a Skype?
Absolutely.
Is there a way that we could FaceTime? Is there some way we can do this through electronics where we can see each other?
Yep.
You know, show me your office. You know, walk me around. Introduce me to your coworkers.
Yep.
I want to make sure that you are who you say you are, and you're not just scamming my information because of whatever reason.
yep. And if you are recruiting someone, I would say offer that proactively.
Yeah.
There's a lot of free tools out there for those kind of not necessarily face-to-face interactions, but face-type interactions that you can use. Facebook has one. Google offers
Yep.
a service. I think there's a free version of Skype, and you can test out webinar-type software. Those are all options for you. So be proactive about that if you are working in the international community, specifically in Europe. So again, really applies to your website, applies to your method of taking people's data if you are collecting data, and there's even the remote possibility you'll have a customer or a client in Europe. Definitely look into GDPR a little bit more and use the resources that are made available to you. There's plenty of information about it on the internet. We're not the end of the road here. We're just trying to help you be aware of the stuff that might affect you. Anything else you guys want to add?
Well, I'm not sure. Did we throw out where we're at today?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No.
We just want to do a big
Yeah.
shout out, big thank you to City Bill Brewing. That's where we are today. They're a super awesome restaurant. We've got beers. We're about to devour some tacos once we're done here. So just a big thank you to them for letting us use their space today.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
That's all the time we've got for today. We will see you. We're going to be back on next Thursday morning. So at the right time.
Your regular
next week.
scheduled
Your regularly scheduled
programming.
programming. Absolutely. Thanks for your time today. Have a good one.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye.